Recorded fucking 5 minutes of this. Didn't hit the record button. That's who I am. So a few weeks ago, I was in Spain to bury my grandfather, and as I was there, I also visited some of my old childhood friends. And one of these friends is famous for making these just tremendous, groundbreakingly fantastic falafel wraps. Vegan falafel wraps, because he is in fact vegan, which is something that I sometimes forget, but is nonetheless true. Except, you know, we're sitting up there on his roof, he's loading up his falafel wrap with all the stuff that goes in it, puts in mustard, puts in mayo. I'm like, hang on, mayo isn't vegan. This mayo specifically isn't vegan. There's an egg on the can. Without skipping a beat, my man goes, well, I'm not an extremist. It was at that point that he achieved something for the idea of veganism that no other vegan had ever achieved. He actually made me consider veganism. Just to make this clear, in a world where I'm being bombarded by try-hard moral conversionism from all sides, at all times, a vegan doing something decidedly unvegan was the thing that made me think, you know, even though the whole veganism thing isn't for me, I do want to put in some vegan options into my diet. Because here is the problem with vegans. They are insufferable little bitches. You know vegans personally. You know that this is true. And it's a shame really because, let's be honest for a hot minute here, the vegans are right. Sure, some of the statistics that they use are way overblown, and there's good reasons for why a lot of people can't realistically subsist on a vegan diet. And they sometimes behave like potheads that go, we'd accuse literally all ills for veganism. But still, empirically speaking, at the core of all this, ultimately, vegans are correct. Veganism is so much better for the environment. Are you kidding me? Industrialized animal products place such a huge strain on the natural world in so many ways. I mean, granted, many vegan products are ultimately manufactured through the exploitation of South American soybean farmers, but let's be honest, the alternative isn't exactly exploitation free. We just compartmentalize all that shit away anyway because we can. We all have other shit to do in our lives than contemplate the existential horror of what our species is doing to the planet, and we would rather not feel like garbage at all hours of the day, thank you very much. So really, when making the decision as to whether or not to be vegan or to do any vegan things at all, while on some abstract level, of course, we know it's better for the environment, and we do want to do better things for the environment, the only thing that we really get to consider is what it would mean to be vegan. And so we look at vegans and go, you know what, actually, I'm not going to do that. I do not want to be associated with these people. And I'm so good at moral compartmentalization that really that is more important to me. You can cry about it all you want, but it's just how people work. Because vegans regularly commit the cardinal sin of cultural politics, not being cool. More than that, vegans are actively uncool. If you want to actually successfully spread a cultural and political idea, and this is fodder for a whole nother video that I will also do at some point, you need to be cool. I'm serious, I cannot stress this enough. It is essential that you be considered cool, not in the keeping a cool head kind of way, although of course also in that way because the terms are related for a reason, but people need to see you as something worth aspiring to, and you don't do that by being a fucking tryhard. I don't know about your observational skills, but the whole going from door to door thing in order to convince people of the right morality isn't something that has worked very well for the Jehovah's Witnesses, or any such cult for that matter. Short of making them the world's dominant religion, it has made them a laughingstock. Guilt-tripping people into doing shit makes them very uncomfortable. Moralizing only works for people who already accept your paradigm. And unless they have a little bit of a fascist streak, people do not like being told what to think and what to do. But this is how people think about vegans. They see them as a cult, and the parallels are absolutely there. I've often wondered why vegan cuisine, especially in the West, is so focused on just emulating meat and making meat options that are alternatives for people, instead of exploring the many, many interesting and delicious exotic options that they also have at their disposal. The reason for this is that the whole thing is supposed to be a pipeline to make it easy for people to become ever more vegan. This sounds smart, but it is not cool. It is in fact uncool. Building the entire structure of your group in a way that is designed to drag in people from the outside into your group is what uncool people do in order to trap people in their group. I know this is high school dynamics, but welcome to the real world. High school never ends, baby. We just become more mellow as we age. Just imagine the nerdy table. My table, by the way. I love all of that shit. Just really building their entire identity and their entire social structure around bringing in cool jocks and Stacys to play Magic the Gathering with them. Nerd shit is super cool. However, by using this as your marketing tactic, you are sending the signal to people that your shit is not cool enough to market itself, and people need to be trapped in it socially. It was only when nerds started going, oh wait, hang on, fuck off, this is our thing, that D&D started to be cool mainstream. People don't like to feel as though they're being tricked into doing something. And by constructing your entire movement to just be a pipeline in which people can acquire more thetan levels in order to achieve a higher level of veganism, you know, like a fucking cult, you are putting off a lot of people who would find a very comfortable halfway point, that is the as far as they will ever go into the realm of veganism, by insisting on your moral purity standards and judging everyone who isn't actively pursuing a higher position in the cult-like hierarchy. You are putting off so many people of a genuinely good and important idea that can do a lot to protect the environment. But instead of pursuing the tried and true method of getting people into your group, vegans prefer to be moralist busybodies. And nobody wants to associate with such people. Nobody wants to emulate them. Nobody likes people who are high off their own moral righteousness. Meanwhile, because of the unvegan thing that my friend did, I am currently in the process of switching to almond milk. It turns out I like it more than regular milk. And I'm also considering some other vegan options as far as that is possible for me, given that veganism is famously a very middle-class endeavor. Unless, of course, you structure your entire life around being vegan. This one cool vegan has done more for the idea of veganism than all of the other vegans that have made veganism their identity combined. Ironically, the best way to convert people is to not actually try to convert them. And that's really the problem. Many vegans evangelize veganism to such an extent because to them it is about something much more important than saving the environment: themselves. It's all about who is the most vegan, the best vegan, the most morally pure, able to look down on all the filthy, unwashed masses for their lack of morality. It's all about acquiring levels in the Laser Lotus completely legitimate religion. That shit is creepy. People think that this is creepy, and it doesn't matter if it is actually what happens in those communities, because that is the perception that most people have of those communities. Most people who are willing to try veganism are just not ever going to become full vegan, or even full vegetarian. It's just not going to happen ever. And by creating this kind of culture where the only acceptable path is to strive for more vegan environment, by building yourselves like a cult, you are pushing all of those people away. There are some people very much drawn to cults, but most people find them creepy. This kind of fart-huffing and moral absolutism that is so common among vegans kills the movement more than anything else because it is not pragmatic. So really, by being this anti-praxis, Vegans who are like this are actively hurting the environment. By behaving the way that they behave, and by continuing to strengthen the perception that the public has of veganism, they are encouraging those people to not become vegan. Imagine all the vegan food consumption that isn't happening simply because people don't want to be associated with vegans. Fathom the exponential spread of the ideas among normal people that could have happened if they weren't such insufferable little bitches. Imagine all the work that economies of scale could have done to make these products more widely available. All or nothing is always going to result in nothing. All you can do is try to increase the amount of environmentally friendly vegan food product consumption as much as you can among people who are not already agreeing with your paradigm, or who just don't care about making veganism the most important thing, or even an important thing at all in their lives. And the way to achieve this is by being cool. Because there are a lot of people who have adopted some degree of veganism and vegetarianism into their lives. It's just that they don't feel the need to tell everyone about it at all times. I know people like that. People like that are the only kinds of vegans who have ever made me consider doing anything vegan. Because yes, people who are vegans and they don't talk about it all the time or at all really exist. There's quite a few of them. It's just that the stigma makes them not want to talk about their veganism. They are actually ashamed of you guys. They're like Rick and Morty fans. Fathom this! You are so zealous in your attempt to recruit people to your movement that you are actually stopping the people who could recruit people to your movement from talking about your movement ever, because they don't want to be associated with you. I mean, how ineffective can you be? So yes, vegans are in fact the biggest enemy of veganism, and it is hurting the environment, which frankly is a bit unfortunate. Thank you very much for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe, share this to your relevant communities, but do not spam them. Consider supporting me on Patreon or Subscribestar so I can buy more vegan products. Consider buying some of my merchandise or my short story collection. And in that spirit, legitimately, unironically, try some vegan shit. There's some good stuff in there. Jackfruit, actually, you can make it up like it has a very nice texture. It's not like chicken exactly, but it's a nice texture in a different kind of way. So it's very good. And see you around, cunts.